Good morning. Today, I'm Andy. Today I'm here to talk about my research topic. And my research topic is quantitative analysis on pond and diffuse sources of heavy metal in Hong Kong. My topic is about heavy metals. Why? Let's look at this comment released on naturalnews.com in 2006. An interviewer asked the fisherman, how bad is the heavy metal contamination in these waters? And the fisherman answered him, we have start fishing with manners. Wow. So the heavy metal contamination is very serious in present date, and it has been a serious concern. Then, what are the heavy metals? Do you know? Can you give some example?
Lead. Mercury.
Lead. And
is it mercury?
Mercury. Okay. Yes, as you all know, the lead, mercury, chromium, and cadmium are the heavy metals. In fact, heavy metals are the metallic chemical elements that have relative high density, high atomic numbers, or say high atomic mass. And the heavy metals are toxic. So, since they are toxic and they cause the pollution, health problems, and finally it's come to ecological risks to us. And look at this mind map. It's so good, is it? When I worked with Huntington and SANY, we created this mind map. And last time we worked on the effect of heavy metal on us and animals. This time I would like to study about the sources of heavy metals. And I chose these 5 articles for my research reference. And let's talk about their strength and weakness. These 5 articles generally provide a clear explanation on their methods, and they also explain their calculation with equations, so the readers can know what they are doing in the research and know how about the calculation process of them. And they use the figures to show their study area, so that the reader can know the size of the study area and the geographical condition of their study area. And they also use the tables and figures to show the result, so the readers can easily to know what they have found and follow their discussion. They also use other studies for comparison with their find out and act as support for their explanation on their results. So the papers become more reliable. And finally, they indicate the needs of the further study. That's why the readers are realists and initiate the intention of further studies. However, there is insufficient previous studies on some areas, so the authors cannot report all the facts in their papers with the limited knowledge and information. And the range of studies and studies shown is small. The range of study is limited, so the find out of the authors can only reflect a part of the facts, but not the whole picture. And sometimes they have no evidence to support their explanation on their results. So the explanation may not be reliable, and the explanation need to be confirmed. And one of the study has have overestimation in their study, so the results may not be reliable and very inaccurate. So, as we know, heavy metal is harm for our health and pollute the environment. So we need to treat with them, and we need to reduce the concentration of heavy metal exploded in the environment. And to reduce the concentration, we also need to know where did they come from. So, where did they come from? Come from chemical industry, electronic industry, or the nature. In fact, the sources of heavy metal is normally classified in two classes. The anthropogenic sources and electrical sources. And many studies is carried out in other regions to identify the sources and quantify the emissions of the sources in UK and in Europe. But how about in Hong Kong? Only concentration and distribution of heavy metal in marine sediments has been studied. So there is no identification and quantitative analysis on the specific source in Hong Kong. So there is no reduction measures improvement in Hong Kong. And thus it's come to my research topic. And what I would like to do in my research is to identify the sources and qualify the emissions of the sources in Hong Kong, because it is needed. And to provide information for Hong Kong government, wastewater treatment plants and industry to improve their reduction measures. And this is the picture reference of my PowerPoint. And this is the end of my presentation.
Okay. Huntington, a question, please.
Do you think the heavy metal is a serious problem?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry. Yes, in Hong Kong waters, it is still serious. Even though Hong Kong has wastewater treatment plants, but
What is the most serious heavy metal in Hong Kong?
it is like to be chromium and mercury. Mercury.
Can you just tell us a little bit about the paper you said did an overestimation of the problem?
Oh, since the sorry. And the overestimation is occurred in the paper released in 1999, and they have overestimation because they use the small size or sample for control for the estimating portion, and the technology is not advanced enough, and the method is not complicated enough. So there is overestimation occurred, and so the result may not be reliable. But this paper is also useful for my research because it provides the example of the sources and directing me to find out the sources in Hong Kong.
Okay. Okay. And can you tell us what anthropogenic sources are?
Anthropogenic sources are anthropogenic is meaning man-made, man-made. Yes, and so the industry are anthropogenic, and the specific example is textile industry or chemical industry, and also domestic and commercial sources is also lie on anthropogenic sources.
Okay. Thanks.